Welcome to Networks Professionals.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome, focused learners, to today's explainer. We're going to take some pretty complex industry shifts and break them down into clear, structured insights that you can actually use. Today, we're looking at the foundational architecture of the machine learning world and tackling a massive shakeup in how artificial intelligence skills are actually validated. We are cracking the AI code, and we're exploring the real legacy of the TensorFlow Developer Certificate. I mean, picture this, right? You're gearing up for a massive leap in your tech career. You're studying late into the night, compiling your code, preparing to prove your worth to top-tier employers. And then, suddenly, the industry's most practical, highly respected certification just completely vanishes from the market. So the big question is the ultimate AI certificate dead? And more importantly, what on earth happens to your AI career trajectory when the main bridge to prove your skills gets pulled up out of nowhere? Let's start with Section 1, the Tensor Certificate, a true badge of honor. Now, what's really interesting about this is that it was created directly by the official TensorFlow team over at Google. This wasn't just, a simple piece of paper. It was an intense, grueling 5-hour gauntlet. And for just $100, candidates sat at their computers and were thrown into a fully hands-on, practical environment. There were absolutely no simple multiple-choice questions here. You were required to literally build, train, and evaluate machine learning models in real time. You were solving practical AI problems while an automated system graded your code against predefined benchmarks. It was intense for sure, but it was incredibly accessible. And because of that rigorous format, the certificate essentially became the golden ticket. It definitively proved to employers that you weren't just reciting textbook definitions, but that you could actually sit down at a terminal and deploy real machine learning solutions. This strengthened portfolios globally. It was heavily recognized by employers from the US and Canada, all the way to the UK, Germany, and Singapore, mostly because TensorFlow itself is one of the most widely used frameworks in global production environments. Which brings us to Section 2, the 2026 plot twist. This is a massive reality check. If you're looking for the link to sign up today, well, you're going to hit a brick wall. Here is the harsh truth. As of right now, in 2026, the official TensorFlow Developer Certificate exam is completely closed. Period. You cannot buy a voucher and you cannot take the test. The doors are firmly shut for all new candidates. Google actually announced back in 2024 that it was pausing the entire certification program to evaluate future options. Now, if you already have one, don't panic. Existing certificates remain perfectly valid for 3 years from the exact date you passed. But if you are hoping to earn this specific credential today to jumpstart your career, that path is temporarily blocked. Let's pivot to Section 3, the AI job market, because the crucial point is, skills pay the bills. Does the death of this exam mean the death of the skill? Absolutely not. No way. The tech sector doesn't hire certificates, right? It hires problem solvers. Just look at the expected salaries for experienced professionals wielding these exact skills. Machine learning engineers are pulling in over $150,000. Data scientists are seeing upwards of $170,000. And computer vision engineers, they're commanding $200,000 and beyond. With the completely exploding demand for generative AI and large language models, mastering frameworks like TensorFlow is still incredibly lucrative. The market is literally screaming for these abilities. And, it's not just big tech companies in Silicon Valley looking for these developers either. TensorFlow is heavily embedded in production systems across a huge array of high-tech sectors. We're talking healthcare AI predicting patient outcomes, fintech algorithms, autonomous vehicles, cybersecurity, manufacturing, education tech. Your skills are universally transferable. If you can build a neural network, every single one of these industries wants to talk to you. Section 4, the Master Curriculum, how we reverse engineer the exam. So how exactly do you capture all that value without the official Google exam to guide you? Well, you reverse engineer it. This brilliantly illustrates the exact blueprint of the most employable skills across 6 core modules that Google gave us. You had to understand fundamentals like data pipelines, dive into deep learning and backpropagation, master convolutional neural networks for computer vision, process text for natural language processing, forecast data with time series, and finally, actually deploy those models into the real world. These are the foundational domains you still absolutely need to conquer today to be a top-tier AI engineer. Moving into Section 5. Your 5-step roadmap, an actionable path forward. Let's move to and see how this all builds together. Because knowing what to learn is only half the battle, right? Knowing how to sequence it is the rest. You don't just start with complex AI. You start with step 1, Python basics. Specifically, libraries like NumPy and Pandas. Maybe spend a month or two there. Then, spend a month on basic supervised and unsupervised machine learning. Step 3 is deep learning, really understanding neural networks and forward propagation. Only then, in step 4, do you dive into mastering the TensorFlow API and Keras for a couple months. And finally, step 5, you have to build. Let's actually zoom in on that crucial 5th step. Your portfolio really needs to show an evolution. Start with beginner projects, things like house price prediction or a simple sentiment analysis model. Once you nail that, step it up to intermediate computer vision tasks, like building a face mask detection system. Finally, prove your advanced skills by building complex object detection models or fully functioning conversational chatbots. This progression is exactly what proves your competence to a hiring manager. Section 6, Alternatives and Next Steps. Finding active certifications. Now, even with a stellar portfolio, you might still want some formal validation to get past those initial HR filters. The TensorFlow cert may be paused, but you definitely have options. There are highly respected, currently active certifications dominating the AI industry in 2026. If you want Google's backing, look at their Cloud Professional ML Engineer track. Microsoft and AWS both offer massive globally recognized associate certificates for data scientists and ML engineers. And if you want to ride the absolute cutting edge of current tech trends, the NVIDIA Certified Associate Credential for Generative AI and LLMs is incredibly highly sought after right now. But I want to leave you with the ultimate hack from our source material. Think about a single piece of paper versus a strong public portfolio containing 4 to 6 functional, real-world AI projects. The data consistently shows that a robust portfolio carries significantly more weight than a certificate alone. Demonstrating your actual code on GitHub dramatically improves your chances of landing an interview over someone who just simply passed a test. So, we've broken down the legacy of the exam, the reality of the job market, and the exact roadmap you need to succeed today. The path forward doesn't require a paused Google exam, it requires dedication, Python, and a willingness to solve real problems. Which leaves us with one final thought before you close this explainer and open up your code editor. Are you building for a certificate, or are you building for reality? The choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep structuring your knowledge, and I'll catch you in the next.
Thanks for watching.